Hello, everyone. We are on our final day of normal class. We went over a few very basic things, but we did not do a lesson today, Wednesday morning. I really just went over some final steps and reminders to keep in mind for exhibitions. So here we go. Here's what you missed if you were not in class Wednesday morning. We're going to do two quick kind of check-ins at the beginning of each class period. This morning, here's what we did. We went over how to sign up for a presentation, how grades will work, the pink sheet, your presentation options, and then a check-in for one-on-one and an example I created for you, a voting guide. So check it out. First step is it's your responsibility to sign up for your presentation time. So if you go to the stream page of Classroom, you can click right here. There's a doc with all the time slots. If no one's name is here, you type your own name, and that's when you will present. We're going to do all of our presentations in the same Zoom. The link is right up here in the top. It's the same one that's in the banner. So that's where we'll be, and you'll be presenting to me, Katie, and Karen. So that's about presentations. Those are tomorrow, Thursday, and we're going to do those during normal class time. Next, grading is super straightforward. I just broke down like the time we spent on lessons versus the presentation, your final project, and I figured 60-40 was fair. You really need to focus on completing your presentation. You really can't pass without having your voting guide complete. Next, here's our digital pink sheet. So basically, you can click here. I'll also post that in Classroom. Let me do that right here. Basically, this just goes over what we'll be scoring you on. It gives you some questions to consider. It gives you like literally the language we'll be using to score you. So let me do this one, student facing. There it is. Oops, I put one too many in there, sorry. All right, there it is right there. Take a look, let me know if you have any questions. This is a project summary that's mainly for Karen and Katie because they don't really know what's going on in our class. This is what you need to bring. Number one is your notes. That's the biggest thing you're responsible for. Number two is I'm gonna basically convert your notes into our voting guide. That's my responsibility. So it's really important that you get that done by the end of today so I can put it on our website. The next thing is questions for students. These are things that you should be able to answer. I put them right out there so there's no surprises. And then the last thing and the most important thing is these rows is how we'll be scoring you. So here's the big thing. This is what you need to make sure that you do. If you read the criteria for success for the final project, you'll be good. But basically, this is what you've got to do. This is essentially the criteria for success in 3 sentences. So first thing is you need to clearly and concisely provide background knowledge and context on your issue and the candidate's position. Those are like kind of the first 2 rows of the graphic organizer. Next is the next 2 rows of the graphic organizer, providing your audience with analysis of data and some visuals to support that data. The last thing is explaining your process for identifying reliable sources. So we don't want to look at information that's kind of nonsense and biased. So how do you know that it was legitimate information? So explain that to us. And then, like always, in the graphic organizer, there's a column on the right. Always just keep track of where you're finding information. Just copy and paste the website that you found it at. And then it's super easy to get back to. So that's how you'll be scored on your pink sheet. Next thing is presentation options. So if you get stressed about doing it live, you can record your presentation, which is basically just like talking us through your issue. We don't want you to read your whole guide, but we want you to explain like why you chose your topics and point us towards the data that's important. I'm estimating this is going to be like 4 or 5 minutes, not super long. If you record it using a tool like Screencastify or Loom, or even if you could use your phone and just do your audio, that's fine too. We'll still meet in person so we can ask you questions and dig a little deeper. So doing a recording is not like a substitution for showing up to your exhibition tomorrow. What it does is it just allows you to not feel, if you feel stressed about like showing your work, it just relieves that burden from you and you can prepare and you can do multiple takes and you can show us your best work. Another thing is keep in mind, y'all, it's not about your speaking skills or your presentation skills. The work is the work. Your work stands alone. You're just helping us understand it. So don't get too hung up on the presentation part and the speaking part, because that's not what's most important. What's most important is really the work. All right, almost there. Last thing today. I want to check in with everyone one-on-one. So on Classroom at the top of the stream page, you'll see this document, Wednesday one-on-one check-ins. Put your name in a time slot that's available so I can check in with you. This is required. It's important. I can't help you if you don't come to class or you don't come to a check-in. So that's kind of what class is today, is just I'm using my time to check in. Then the last thing is I put an exemplar in Classroom. Where is it? I'm going to put it right here in the voting guide final project. But basically what I did is I created an example of what I'm looking for in a voting guide, and it's all around this thing called DACA, D-A-C-A. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to post it in the final project section, and you can check out kind of like what the target looks like. So recap, sign up for your presentation, sign up for a one-on-one check-in today, review the pink sheet so you know how you're being scored, and I will hopefully see you in check-ins today.